Hello, and welcome to AIM Movement. I'm Lou Berkowitz. I'm the director of AIM Movement for AIM Golf Academy at Royal Ashburn. So glad that you can join us for this series of movement classes, all dedicated to movement, body performance, reduction of injuries, of course, and just trying to get to be the best golfers that we can possibly be. So I ask you in these series to just come with an open mind and trust the process of body movement and body awareness as we start to connect, maybe rediscovering or just discovering for the first time our body, our physicality, our ranges of motion, this great machine that we've been given, and then this great sport that we want to participate in and do well, and of course, always injury-free. So the golf swing is, in fact, one of the most challenging body movements that we can do, requiring more than half of the body's skeletal muscles and joints to be engaged in a very short period of time, 1 to 2 seconds, and the golf swing is done. And it just requires hundreds and hundreds of muscles and joints to coordinate in a very, very short period of time to create a consistent, well-performing golf swing, and whatever that golf swing happens to be for you and your body type. So with that said, we're going to be doing a series of movements in this class, in this session, really, that just allow us to take a moment to be a little bit more reflective and look internally and try and, again, rediscover or even expand potentials and possibilities of range of motion. You're not going to need very much. I typically do the movement classes always in bare feet. I like to press into the floor surface, or the mat surface, in this case, the yoga mat. And that helps me to stay grounded, which we'll be doing a little bit of as well, just in bringing some instruction to how to best ground and be present. One of the most challenging things that I have always found is that in a golf swing, I'm trying to think about so many different things at the same time, and it's nearly impossible because it's just too much to go on. So what we want to do is open up a lot of our body's architecture, really, all our bigger joints, our hip joints, our knees and ankles and shoulders and wrists and elbows, all these mobility creations that we have to work on to expand. So when we can isolate our body parts into separate segments, they can work quite efficiently, separated from other body parts, and then also coming in together. It's just part of the way we're all completely connected. But the more that we're able to actually separate our body parts, isolate those body parts, then we activate them, and then we integrate them into the movement. So that's what our goal is in this series of movement sessions. So as best as possible, I'm going to try and also explain and demonstrate the areas that we're getting into and what we're doing and how we're doing it, and just so that you can have a better sense of and a better understanding of the importance of really just taking the time and work through our mobility, since this is the instrument that we use to create the golf swing. All right, so we're going to get started, and I'm in a seated position. I'm on a block. My hips are a little bit tight. My right knee is also a little bit tight from old injuries and surgery. So for me, it helps to just sit up a little bit more. I can shift my weight forward as well, and this allows the hip socket and the hip joint to just open naturally. And this is also considered to be the best, really, anatomical position for breathing. Gravity is working on our side in this case, and we want to expand the diaphragmatic movement of the diaphragm contracting as we breathe in and out. Okay, so we'll get started with that. So for now, we're just going to bring the right hand onto the belly, left hand onto the chest. Exhale all of your air. And then through your nose, take a slow breath in. Hold that breath. Open your mouth and a long exhale. Try and keep your shoulders pretty low. And when you take that breath in, nice big breath comes in. Take it as deeply as you can. Hold your breath. And then again, long exhale. Now, as the breath comes in, you're going to try and bring it in through your nose and take it right down into the belly so that the abdominal area extends as you're inhaling. Your side ribs will then expand, lower back expands, and then the chest expands at the very, very end. And that is the full cycle of breath. Chest rising at the end, and then both hands press slightly into your body just to release all that breath. Nice big breath in and out. Just breathe in through your nose. You can close your eyes as well. Also helps to just look internally and feel all the muscles that are required to bring the big breath coming in and the long exhale to follow. Our breath also is our way to calm the nervous system down. Our nervous system down, when we're at a point of any tension of any kind, this breathing, nice and slow and deep breathing, allows us to keep the nervous system in check. Not too high. We don't want a red line. We want to stay down around a 4 or 5 out of that 10 zone. Nice big breath in and out. This also allows us to get grounded, be present. Also very challenging in some of these movement sessions to kind of check out and wander off into a different place. We want to stay present, be focused, just the same as when we're doing anything else, including, of course, our golf swing. Nice big breath in and out, everyone. Just breathe in and breathe out. And these practices will come to you recorded, and you can do them at any time. And I do encourage you to do them often. And we're only spending about 3-4 minutes here, just breathing, slowly grounding. And just noticing that breath coming in and out. I'm going to open your eyes. Let your hands just rest onto your body. Lift the shoulders all the way up to your chest. Excuse me, up to the ears, past the chest, all the way up to the earlobes. Take a big breath and then lower the shoulders all the way down. So nice heavy shoulders, lots of space between the tops of the shoulders and the earlobes. And I'm going to slowly turn my head to the right. Remember what we're trying to accomplish throughout the movement practice, the movement session, is movement, really. Not so much mobility. Mobility is something else that requires a little bit of strengthening work that we'll get to in a different session. I'm turning to the right, just trying to really isolate the movement, exaggerate the turning of the head. And I want to feel lengthening on the left side of the neck and nothing on the closed side. So no compression on the right, but lots of length on the left. And then over to the left side, turn your head to the left. Really exaggerate the movement. So you feel the muscle contracting in the back of the neck on the left side and lengthening of the muscle tissue on the right side of the neck. Again, go to the right. And go to the left. One more time to the right. Don't forget to breathe. Always deep breathing through the nose. Now stay here on the right side. Drop the ear to the shoulder and look up to the ceiling. Drag your head all the way across the ceiling in half-speed fashion. Go to the left and take the left ear to the left shoulder, but stay there still looking up at the ceiling, feeling the length on the right side of the neck. Try not to pitch forward or back. Just stay really still, spine straight. Again, over to the right, so I'm looking up to the ceiling, contracting the muscles in the back of the neck. Drop the ear to the shoulder, hold, and then go right back up again, and we'll go to the other side. It's nice isolated movements, half speed. All right, now I'm going to drop the chin down to the chest and drag the chin all the way across the chest. Over to the other side, then look up to the ceiling. Nice big look up, all the way, full circle. Again, the left ear drops to the shoulder, chin across your chest. Now stay here in this neutral position. So my head is down, chin is down. Press your chin actively into your neck or into your chest. So press down. If you want to give your head a little bit more movement to the back of your head and just tuck the chin down a little bit more. And the tension level should not exceed. Now release this. If you're holding the head, come back to neutral and lift your head straight up. just straight up. Hold, and then straight down again. Chin goes all the way down. All the way up. And all the way down. So come to a neutral position. Now you're going to press your head forward. Don't lean forward. This is, again, one of those challenging movements where if you don't do it often, it's a little bit challenging at first. So again, you're going to close your mouth and don't shoot the chin forward, just the head. I'm going to turn to the side just to show you what that would look like. So I'm sitting up pretty tall, and I'm just going to send my head forward. Keep your shoulders back, and then tuck the head back in as if you're creating a double chin. So you can actually bring your hand to the chin, press your head into the hand, and then back. And then just notice what this feels like. So all of these movements, believe it or not, are required during a golf swing, including all of this head movement. So of course we want to find the range of motion that will help us get there. So again, just do that a few times. The tendency here is to either shoot the chin forward or rock the body forward. I'm trying to stay really still, keep the shoulders down, and head forward and back. So the trick is to keep the shoulders back. Don't allow them to roll forward. Just stay back. Nice work. We'll do that a couple of times. Okay, I'm going to go back to just face everyone now. And a little bit of rotation. So in this position, I want the knees out. If you're sitting on your bum and you feel the sitting bones, the pelvic bones that are underneath you, keep them both at an equal grounded position if you can. And then you're going to rotate a little bit to the right. So I'm going to hold on to the right knee with the left hand, create a little rotation to the right side, and just noticing if anything else is popping up or moving. I'm trying to keep the legs open, pressure into the buttock area very firm, and then just turn to the right as I turn and twist. Now the twisting is coming from really between the shoulder blade area. So the right shoulder blade is just coming back to touch the left, and the breastbone, the bone in the center, is going towards the right side of the room. Stay really tall. Breathe in and out, and notice even if you close your eyes, you can maybe go just a little bit more of a twist. So a nice rotational movement to the right side. Hold and breathe. And gently let it go, and we'll just switch and do the other side. So again, we're switching, going through a neutral position, and just a very slow rotation to the other side. So the tendency here is to either lean or to have the one leg pop up. You're trying to stay really tall and just twist with the knees open. Equal weight again into the buttock area, and turn by turning the breastbone off to the left side. Stay really tall, breathe in and out. And I often do a lot of these movements with my eyes closed. I'm just really discovering internally what it feels like and all the different muscles that are required to either contract or release to create the movement. And then slowly move back to neutral, do one more. So this is one body plane, this rotation. Also super important for our golf movement and our golf play in total as we separate the upper body from the lower. And again, back through center, all controlled slow motion. So everything is in slow motion. Again, body upright, sit up tall. Keep the knees open, equal pressure in the buttock area, and then just a little bit of a turn rotation, sitting upright. And again, I'm trying to take the breastbone over to the left side of the room. And nice big deep breathing all the way through. Keeps us very centered, very present, and very grounded. You basically just want to be here. You want to be here, not floating somewhere else. And then we come back to a center position. Nice work. Okay, just a little counter to the other side. Okay, that's a rotational movement. Now we can also do a little bit of a tip from side to side. So I find that it helps if you bring the arms up, just cradle the back of your head with your fingertips, bring the elbows back, and then just do a little bit of a tip to the side, trying to bring the elbow to the hip. Notice what happens here. Maybe you're getting lighter on the left side, so you want to really press a little bit more firmly into the left side as you tip over to the right. Try not to lean forward, try not to lean back, just a side tip. And the range may not be too great, and that's okay. This is part of the range of motion. Ideally, the elbows would be back and you'd be able to, without bringing the arm down, you'd be able to create this little bit of a tip so that the elbow comes close to the hip. And I'm going to come back through center. Again, try not to lean forward or back. Keep the arms back. And you're going to tip over to the other side. The tendency here is to roll forward when we're super tight, or to have the arms roll forward. So always be pulling the arms back. Try and be really broad across the chest. Look up and tip to the side. Look up to the ceiling. Try not to lean forward. And of course, follow with your breathing. Back through center. I'm going to do one more to the right. Pull that shoulder back and tip. Get more pressure into the left butt side. Breathing in and out deeply. And back to center, a little tip. And through the left side. And back through center. Nice position. Okay, so we did the rotation, little tip side to side, and now we're going to move forward. So I'm just going to lean forward. I'm going to try not to roll over. I'm keeping my shoulders back and just walking the hands forward, hinging at the waist. So if your back is tight, if the hamstrings are tight, this range of motion could be a little bit awkward and may not be that light for you to get into at the moment, but we just want to get into a position where you're feeling at about a 4 or 5 out of 10. You're breathing deeply. And the intention is to keep the spine straight and bring the chest forward. Some people have incredible mobility and can bring their chest right to the floor. I can't. I can't do that. Many of us can't do that. So it's more the action of opening the hip area as well as tipping forward that we're trying to just figure out what that actually feels like. The golf swing requires us to do all those 3 different plane motions. So it's a tip forward, it's a rotation, and it's also that side little twist. So we have to do all of that in our golf swing. Very challenging to do. And then we just slowly come up. Get one more little turn to the right. Back through center. Over to the left. And again, one more through center position. Okay, really good. We're going to stand up, everybody. So everybody stand up. Have a little sip of water if you like. My hips feel nice and open. So in this session today, we're going to be doing something called CARS, C-A-R-S, Controlled Articulating Rotations. So controlled articulating rotations go all the way from the very top, all the way down to the bottom. So it's, again, the intention is to isolate our body parts so they can work independently with a lot of balance, a lot of strength, a lot of flexibility, and then we just bring them all together when we're ready to do that a little bit later on. Okay, so for now, we're just going to stand onto the floor. Toes face forward, maybe even out slightly. That's totally fine. Lift your toes up and down a little bit. Rock your weight side to side. And let's work a little bit on what it means to feel grounded. So typically what we would do is just stand on the floor, and standing on the floor is totally fine. But what if you want to really bear down into the floor? If you really wanted to feel grounded, because you're going to be doing something up here that requires you to stay down. So essentially anything from the waist down is grounded. Anything from the waist up then just starts to move independently while all of your foundation is being kept together right below the waist. So what I'm doing is I'm just pressing my feet into the floor. I'm bending my knees a little bit and starting to contract my abdominal muscles. So I'm pulling my navel in towards my spine as I press down, getting a little bit more grounded, just trying to separate or move the weight throughout the entire foot on both sides, okay? Both sides. Now, arms by my side, and I'm going to turn again the head to the right, keep the shoulders back. Turn the head to the left, shoulders stay down, and we'll go through the same movement that you just did a few moments ago. Just side to side, move your head from side to side, but this time we're standing, really bearing down into the floor. It's almost as if you're trying to break something underneath the floor. If you're on a tile floor, you're trying to break those tiles underneath you. Really strong ground. And then back through center position. Okay, arms by your side, without moving your feet, without moving your legs. What I'd like you to do is just turn your feet out, but don't move your feet. So in your mind's eye, activate the muscles. They come right from back here into the glute. Imagine you're turning out, external rotation. Then imagine you're turning in, internal rotation. Again, it's all coming from the hip. External, internal. If you want to bring your hands to your hip area, you should be able to feel the muscles, especially the glutes in the back on the legs out. Internal muscles engaging to turn the legs in, also through the groin, in and out. But if you notice, my feet and legs are not moving. If I look down, I can see my feet moving a little bit. That's just the pressure, but there's no actual movement of the foot. So this is all isometric type movement. Just really feeling this internal, external rotation right here at this hip socket. Now turn your feet out, so externally rotate and stay in that external rotation. So you're pressing down and out. Now imagine that we're standing on manhole covers, those big round discs. So we're standing on manhole covers. The foot on the right is turning the manhole cover to the right. The foot on the left is turning the manhole cover to the left. So we're unscrewing these manhole covers, okay? Turn out, really engage the glute muscles here. Don't let the legs go out. That's it, really nice work. This is how we ground. It's a lot of work that goes into grounding, but it's something that we have to get a handle on in order to really get a solid foundation. So the upper body can have a lot of strength of movement and lower body is the foundation. So again, you're pressing down and then turning out. Active, super active, really good. Now, arms by your side, lift the shoulders up to your ears, keep that leg active, and then roll the shoulders down. I'm going to turn to the side just so that you can see what I'm doing. My arms are straight. The tendency is to bend the elbows, so we want to keep the arms straight. Lift the shoulders all the way up and high. Again, try not to lean, just lift up, and I'm trying to create a circular motion by sending the shoulder back. So the shoulder goes all the way back. Again, try not to flare out. Just the shoulder goes back, lower the shoulder down, and then roll it forward. Up, back, and down. Create a circular motion. Now, if you do this slowly, and just think in your mind's eye about a big circle, and you're looking at yourself sideways, doing these big shoulder circles. Really try and isolate the arm, the upper arm, moving through the shoulder socket in this rotational motion. This is really good. So before we start to build strength in all these areas, we want to open them up. And if you haven't done these, then that's okay. We're just going to do them a little bit more often now. And this is something I encourage you to do quite a bit so we can have the best range of motion that we can possibly get. And by doing it slowly, it's when we really start to tap into those spaces. Okay, shake that out a little bit. And then we're just going to do the other direction. So I lift up and then I roll forward without hinging forward. So my back is straight. Roll the shoulder forward so the shoulders are coming forward this way, not tucked in, but just forward. Internal rotation. Then up, back, down, and again forward. Notice the difference between this movement and the one we just did before. This is a more of a close. We're closing the shoulder, going all the way back, doing the circle in the other direction. And the intention is keep on going as I instruct. The feet are pressing into the floor. They're turning out, and you're just doing this circular motion with your shoulders. Just really isolate, nothing else moving. Breathe. And then release and let that go. Nice work, everybody. Really good. Okay, a little bit more into the shoulder. You're going to lift the right arm straight up. And I'm going to, again, turn to the side. Pull the arm back and then reach forward. Arm back, forward, back, and forth. So it's as if you're trying to hand someone something without leaning over. You don't lean over. You have a tray. You're reaching the tray forward and then pulling the tray back. It's not a lot of range of motion, but it's enough. Arms straight, reach, and then back. Reach, and you're pulling the shoulder blade back. As you extend the arm, your shoulder blade protracts off your back, and then you retract for it to come back. Super important here. Reach forward and come back. This moves the entire shoulder girdle. Let's do that a few times, and we'll switch and do the other side. So again, the left arm goes up. And let's have the palm face the ceiling. So it's an external shoulder rotation. The shoulder's open. And without leaning, I'm going to extend that tray and then pull the tray back. Extend it. Pull back, and as you pull back, you're pulling that left shoulder blade to meet the right. Extend and back. And discover this range of motion. This is really good to increase the range of motion during the swing. It just allows for much, much more space. Okay, let's go a couple more times. Release, shake it down. Sometimes you may feel that the shoulders are going to get a little bit sore. The arms get heavy after a while, and that's okay. That also builds the strength within the shoulder capsule. All right, we're going to do both arms now. So you're going to reach the arms forward, palms face up. Elbows are straight. Try not to lean. Really isolate the movement now of the arms coming back. Now, the arms coming back essentially means that the shoulder blades are coming back together, and I'm trying to crunch a walnut in between my shoulder blades. So imagine the arms coming back, squeeze those shoulder blades together, crack that walnut, and then release the arms forward, protracting the shoulder blades off of your back, and then retract back. Keep the elbows straight. Again, the tendency is for the elbows to do this. You want to keep them straight. Back and forth, back and forth. In a later segment, in another session, we'll be doing this on the floor. Right now, we're just creating this range of motion. Try not to lean again in any direction. Just do that a few more times. And release and let it go. You can also do this on the wall as well if you were leaning up against the wall. I know the camera can't quite catch it, but it's the motion of pushing the wall, the chest closer and then back, closer and then back. Okay, nice work, everyone. All right, this time the arms, right arm is going to go up. Bring the arm across your body. Turn the hand up towards the ceiling. So again, the arm is straight. I'm just dragging it across my body, but I'm not turning. There's no turning. The feet are grounded. Imagine that your hip points are a couple of lights, and those lights are pointing straight ahead. So if you lift the arm, those lights are pointing straight ahead, and you start to do this and turn, then all of a sudden you've lost that ability to ground below the waist. So stay here, press your feet down, turn your feet out as if you're on those manhole covers, lift the arm, and then the arm goes across, but the hips stay where they are, legs stay where they are. So maybe this is it, maybe the range is more. Just play with it, go straight, and then off to the side. Just drag your arm across the side, maybe get a little bit of an assist if you like, feeling that stretch to the outside of the shoulder. Try not to turn. Keep those headlights right in the front. Turn the arm to the side. Now release the arm so you're holding in that position. Turn the arm out, bring it off to the side, turn it down, go behind you, reach, internal rotation, come back, turn the hand out, and again, drag it across, lift up. When you go up, you're going to start to turn the thumb down, reach behind you, get that internal shoulder rotation, come forward, turn out, keep turning out as you lift the arm up, trying to keep the elbow straight. Keep turning and you come to the side, then you turn thumb down. Internal rotation, all the way behind you. We'll do one more. Off to the side, go all the way up, turn the hand up. External rotation. Come to the side, turn the thumb down. Keep the shoulder blade down. External rotation. And release that, let it go. Okay. Woohoo, I feel that quite a bit in the right shoulder. It feels really good. Again, the more we're able to isolate the body parts, the major body parts, they work really well independently. And then when we put them together, it's just a nice effortless movement when it all comes together. So we do the other side. Let's get grounded again. So typically what I'll do is, again, I'll just kind of shift my weight around, maybe bring the hand to the belly so I can feel the muscle contracting, press down, bear down, turn your feet out slightly, and then right arm stays down as the left arm goes up. I'm going to drag it across. Try not to turn. Keep those headlights going forward. Lift the arm all the way up. Keep turning the fingers out. So it's that outward rotation. And then you come up to the side. Turn the thumb to face back. And try not to pitch too much if you can. This is all intended to happen from the shoulder. If the shoulder is tight, you will find limitation and this type of movement, and that's okay. Let's just keep track of it. And over time, we try to lean back without, or reach the arm back without too much other body movement. So the more that we're able to get into the shoulder and then turn, come back forward, external rotation. So externally rotate, lift, come off to the side, turn and try and reach back as far as you can go. Reach, really open this shoulder up. Keep turning the thumb down. And as you come forward, you'll turn, go in the other direction. So palm facing up. Keep turning, up, turn the thumb down, and reach behind you with the thumb down. We'll do one more. Really good stuff for the shoulder. One more. External rotation. Go up to the side, hold, turn the thumb to face down, and then try and get the arm back without shifting the body. So I hear a whole bunch of clicking going on here. My shoulder, you might as well. Okay, or you might as well. Yeah, let's go. And a little sip of water. Nice work, everyone. Really good stuff. Okay, still back in the shoulders a little bit more. Let's get grounded again. Feet about hip distance apart. Press firmly into the floor. Turn on those manhole covers and get the belly tight. Now we're going to lift the arms up and spread the fingers nice and wide. And this time I'm going to keep the elbows roughly at about shoulder height. Again, I'm going to turn to the side just so you can see that I'm trying to line everything up. So I'm not leaning forward. I'm not leaning back. There's no arch in the back. There's no funky movement going on. I'm just trying to keep this part of my body as much of a candlestick as possible. And then just moving through the shoulders. So again, what I'm going to do here is just lift the arms up. Now press the hands down as if someone is pressing the hands back. So if someone else has a hand here, you're pressing into them and you're pressing them down. So press, keep your shoulders up. How far can you go? I have a bit of an injury on my right shoulder, so I don't have too much range of motion. I could probably go more on the left, and you can see the difference between my left and right is quite a bit. So I don't quite have the range of motion. So there's an obvious deficiency right there between my ranges of motion. Right side can't go more than that. Left side can go quite a bit. Okay, and then I'm going to open them up. Other direction. Again, try not to sway in any direction. Just open up. Rolling for an external rotation. Keep your shoulder blades down behind you. So nothing's coming up. Everything stays down, just opening. And when you think you can't go anymore, just give it a little bit more. Just a bit more. Feels really good. Contract the muscles in the back. Don't arch the back. And then let's go forward. And let's go back. Nice work, everyone. Keep going. And forward. Again, when you think you don't have it, just go a little bit more. Open it up. One more in. And one more up. Release and let that go. Okay, shake it out. Have a little sip of water, everyone. Great work, guys. Now we're going to do one more. And if you happen to have either a towel, a strap, the strap that came with your yoga mat, a t-shirt, a rag, you might not even need it. This is called a back scratcher. And we're essentially, all we're going to do is we're going to lift the right arm behind, left arm behind, but we're going to try and bring our hands to touch. Now, I'll turn and you can see that my hands can't touch. I just don't have that range of motion. Ideally, I would have that range of motion, and I'm trying not to tip again in any direction. So as an assist, as a prop, a towel or anything that can fill that separation between the hands will work. So the right arm goes up, left arm bends as well. I'm trying to get the hands together as close as I can. And once I do, I'm just going to floss up and down. This is a great movement exercise. I'm trying to keep my hands off of my body, so nothing's touching. The right arm is straight, upper arm is straight, and then I'm just creating this flossing type motion without leaning, just trying to really open up the shoulder quite a bit. Now, the tendency for me here, because I'm so tight through the shoulders, is to do this. So I'm trying really not to do that. And pulling the shoulder open, creating the muscle contraction that's required, and then release that. Okay, shake that out a little bit. Let the blood flow go back into that space. That's the other great thing with all of this movement that we're doing. We're circulating a lot of fluids through the jointery. Now, if we haven't moved as much, say in the past, a lot of those fluids get gummy and sticky inside, get it sludge-like. So the more that we move, we're actually moving all that old junk out of the way and bringing in nice, fresh stuff. So whenever you do these, I mean, we should do anyway, but typically, whenever you do these type of movement classes, drink lots of water. Super, super good. All right, other side, left side. Again, switch. Find your way. This shoulder's a little bit, my right shoulder is a little bit tighter on this one, so it's hard for me to create this internal rotation. So I'm trying to open the shoulder open. And if you can see, my range of motion is not that great here. This is really more challenging for me on this injured side. So I try and stay out of any pain, but still work through the range of motion with a little flossing as much as I can. Really, my tendency here also is to arch my back because I don't have a range of motion here that's great. So something has to give, and that's my challenge. on this side. So I just try and do the best that I can. You do the same. And then release and let it go. So these are great to do for the shoulders. Super, super good. Lots of external, lots of internal, and it's all the different requirements that are needed for a great, great consistent golf swing. Okay, we're going to work a little bit now into the legs and into the hips, and then we'll finish off this particular session. And what I'd like you to do now is bring your hands to your waist, and we're going to roll over onto our toes, like cracking the knuckles on the hands. Not too much, just a little bit of, oh, there we go, a little click, click for me. And then the other side, nice and slow. Now I'm not looking down. I don't want to lean forward. I want to stay up tall, standing straight, and just movement into the toes. And just a little bit more. I do this a lot, by the way. I have a little bit of arthritis in my toes, so I like to just roll through the toes, keep them nicely lubricated. And all of these movements, you can relate them to kind of doing an oil change, really. That's what we're doing. We're just changing out all the fluids for nice, fresh stuff. So we take our time. There's no need to rush. It's actually much, there's more benefit for us to do it slower. A little bit more. Just isolating. Our shoes do a great job of protecting us, but sometimes a little bit too much, and then we start to lose some of these ranges of motion. So if this feels awkward, it's no surprise why. Okay, and then I'm going to turn to the side and lift the right heel up. So I'm really lifting the heel up a lot as I push down into the toes, contracting the calf muscle. And then switch other side. And switch, isolate just this spot. Again, very little body movement, just lifting the heel by contracting the calf muscle on the left side. And then the right side. And left side. Okay, nice work. Now we're going to roll onto the toes onto the right side. So this is the motion. Now the tension level of how much I'm pressing down here is probably about a 3 out of 10. So I feel it, the lengthening on top of the foot and up probably about halfway up to the shin, nothing in the knee feels totally fine. Now I'm pressing firmly down into the left foot. Now what I'd like you to do is really think about this. The left foot is pressing down firmly, slightly turning that manhole cover out. I'm also pressing into the top of the right foot. And when I do that, I'm going to now internally rotate the right leg. So the thigh now is turning into the other thigh, but the left foot is pushing straight down. So I feel an opening right here. This is muscle tissue is just releasing right here. So I'm finding balance with the left foot, but the right leg is turning in with a little bit of downward pressure, not too much. So I can feel it right on top of the foot. And then I'm going to externally rotate. Still pressing down into the left foot, but this time the right thigh is turning out. A little bit of downward pressure into the right foot. This is an external rotation as I contract the glute muscle in the back, continuously creating this external rotation where I'm neutral right here. And then again, in, turn the thigh inward, but keep your hip points. Remember those lights? Those headlights are pointing forward. It's just the leg that you've isolated. This is a challenge for many of us where we'll have a full body turn. So you want to do it really slowly. Just turn the leg in and out. Now it's an outward rotation. Keep turning the leg out and a little bit of downward pressure. This leg is strong, firmly planted into the floor. Yeah, no leaning, no happening at the top, just holding one more internal. Keep turning, keep turning, keep turning. It's not just turn and stay. It's a constant turning. But you keep the tension level about 4 or 5 out of 10. And then one more external rotation. Turn, 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 turn. Thigh rolling out. This one is neutral. Left one neutral, right one rolling out. So I feel this opening up through the groin, particularly on the right side. Just isolating this one hip socket. And then release and let it go. Okay, nice work. Move the leg around a little bit. Both directions. That's it. Bring some blood flow into that space. Okay, we're going pretty deep here, and that's the idea, is that we're not just opening through your normal range of motion. We're going through the normal range of motion and then past it to open up some new stuff. And over time, this new stuff will become your old stuff, and then you'll be able to go even further and further and further. So lots of great control happening here. So let's start this way. Both feet down, hands come at your waist. The right foot now is going to really ground down, turning a little bit out to the right, and then I'm going to lift the left heel up, get on top of the left foot. A little bit of pressure, downward pressure, and I turn inside. Internal rotation. So now I want to do the same thing on the opposite side. Now notice my hip lights are still going forward. I'm not turning. All I'm doing is moving the leg in. So imagine bringing your left thigh in toward the right. So you should feel it all the way up the back here as the muscles back here get long. The ones inside the leg are contracting, your adductors in here, and it's releasing in the back. And then when you go out, this releases and the back is contracting to open the leg. Now turn the thigh out, squeeze the bum behind you. External rotation. Keep turning, turning, turning. Really feel that glute even seizing up a little bit at the back. So you can crank this up pretty good when those glutes fire up. Internal rotation. Again, that right leg is keeping me nicely balanced. I'm just turning in. Keep turning, so press the thighs together. Keep turning that thigh in, a little bit of downward pressure into the foot. Let's go out. External rotation. Again, roll your thigh, turn it out, keep turning, keep turning. So I really feel it squeezing in the back and I feel it opening in the front. And a little downward pressure to get that length on the top of the foot. Super good stuff. Okay, one more. Internal, 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 internal. Keep turning, turning, turning. Let's hold for another 15 seconds or so. Make sure you're breathing. External rotation. Isolate the movement right here. Nothing else moves. Our job is just to do these isolation movements. So we isolate, we activate by contracting, and then we integrate with the movement. Okay, those are the 3 steps. Isolate, activate, and then integrate into movement. And then back through center. Let it go. Okay. And just move that leg around a little bit, see how that feels. Hopefully it feels a little bit better. Loose. And the more we do this, every single time you do it, your range of motion is going to increase that much. It's a slow process, but once you get there, it's really, really good. So it's a work in progress. And that's why we always call this a movement practice. Okay, let's do one more series and we'll quickly start to wrap it up. So again, I'm going to stand in a nice, strong, well-balanced, grounded position. And this time I'm going to lift the right leg up and just move the leg up and down a few times. You can bend the knee if you like as well, maybe out to the side. We'll be doing lots of balancing work in some of the sessions as well. So a lot of this type of leg stuff, one leg up and one leg down. So again, just move the leg around a little bit. All right, now we're going to extend the leg straight. Bring your thigh, right thigh across. The leg goes across, but watch whether you're turning. You don't want to turn. So keep those hip lights forward. Do this. So you're creating length on the right side of the leg. Keep your hips square as you cross. Again, you're isolating this one area. Now turn the foot up towards the ceiling. Lift the knee up to hip height. Keep turning the foot up toward the ceiling. And with the knee in this location, now I'm going to turn the lower leg off to the right side for an internal rotation. Again, notice if your body is moving around or if you can't balance, you can also just put your one hand on the wall as you do the movement or hold on to a chair. But eventually you want to do it standing. You can use a broomstick as well, just to hang on to. So the leg is at, the knee is at hip height. I'm flexing the foot, and then I do a internal rotation, external rotation. Okay, external, internal, external, internal. So this is the movement. Out, in, external, whoa, and then in. We're going to do the final internal rotation, and then you're going to internally rotate as you kick your leg back. Squeeze the bum, send the leg back. Try not to lean forward too much. Then bring the leg forward and then cross again. So it comes from the back, it comes forward, leg is straight, thighs lock. Those headlights are going forward. Lift the leg up to knee level or to knee to hip height. And then we pendulum swing. Side to side, side to side. So internal, external, internal, external. Go external and then send the leg back. Straighten the leg. And we'll do one more. Come across your body. Lift up, hold. And then internal, external pendulum swing of the lower leg. And it should be all coming from the hip socket. One last external. Send the leg all the way back. Whoops, I hit the plant. And then come down and release and let it go. So you probably also feel that on the standing leg all through this area as well, as all the muscles are working really hard to keep us in a well-balanced position. All right, we're gonna do the other side. Let's see how the other side goes. Sometimes often the two sides are quite different. So we'll just feel that out. Okay. Rounded firmly into the right foot. I'm going to lift the left leg up. Draw the leg across without turning. So keep your hips square. If you're not quite sure what that feels like at first, just move your legs side to side. Again, these hip points are staying neutral as if the lights are going straight ahead. You're going to take the leg across, turn the foot up to the ceiling, and lift the knee up. And then external, sorry, this is an internal rotation, external rotation on that pendulum swing. In, out, in, and out. Now really lift the leg so you feel it right back here. You want to feel it the whole time. Now lift, internal rotation, and then kick back. Keep the knee high, leg back. Try not to lean forward too much. Come forward, drag the leg across your body, lift, pendulum swing, side to side. We'll do a couple of these. Make sure you're breathing. Nice big swing. Kick the leg back. Back, 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 back. We'll do one more. One more. Drag the leg across. Go all the way up. Lift the leg, knee up to hip height. Pendulum swing as you flex the left foot. So back and forth a few times. We'll do one last kick back, reach, reach, reach. And nice work coming all the way down. Okay, I feel a little fatiguing as well. Okay, we're gonna come back into a seated position, everyone. So I'm gonna sit on a block. You can sit, please sit however you like, whatever makes you feel comfortable. We're gonna cross our legs again. Arms by the side. All right, one more time, head turn. Drop the ear to the shoulder, look up. Drag your head all the way across, look up to the ceiling. All the way to the left. Drag the chin across the chest. Do one more full head circle in the right direction. All the way up. Over to the left. Comes through middle. Okay, middle direction. You're gonna look up, head goes straight up. Chin drops down, head goes down. Come back through center, then let's take the head to the left. Dropping the ear to the shoulder, the head goes back. All the way to the right, and then again, chin across the chest, come back to center position, and back to middle. Okay, that's it. We are done for this session. I hope you enjoyed this movement session. Hope you're feeling good. Please join me for the next one and do these online over and over again. It's available to you at all times, so please take advantage and do the practice. See you out on the course. Oh, sorry, pardon me, little horse at the end. Have a great afternoon, everybody, or a great day, wherever time it happens to be. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you. Namaste.